Alright guys, what is going on tonight? How y'all doing? This is the Club of the Man 1993. I'm going to be talking a little bit lower because it is 20 after 2 in the morning. I really shouldn't be awake right now because I do have to get up around 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. But with how busy I'm going to be this coming week, I thought I should at least get caught up while I can. So, took my shower right while I wait for my hair to dry. I might as well just knock out my Smackdown review real quick. So again, I'm not going to be super loud, but I am going to, just fly through this review real quick. But this is my live review of Friday night's edition of Smackdown, the October 28th, 2022 edition that took place in St. Louis, Missouri. We are 1 week away from WWE's Crown Jewel 2022 taking place in Saudi Arabia next Saturday, November 5th, which I will be watching next Saturday, but I'm going to be watching it in the evening. Just like it was with Clash at the Castle, I'll be watching it in the evening with friends. But overall, there were a few things on this episode of SmackDown that I did enjoy. I did enjoy SmackDown more than I enjoyed Raw this past week. Raw was a skippable episode. SmackDown had some downers, but it did have some things that I definitely did like. So again, it was, there was some things that saved me from giving this just like an average or a decent grade. I thought it was a solid episode. There were some good things. There was some stuff also that wasn't super great. Some repetition, but And we did also have a surprise return as well that I thought may happen, of course, with her recent finishing of her contract with Impact, and also with a recent release that she is dating a current WWE superstar also. So I got a little bit of things to say, but I want to kind of fly through this because it is late at night. I do got to get up early tomorrow morning. But I did want to at least get this review in, of course, to try at least keep it with the live streams at least. I have a couple, recordings that I'm probably going to upload throughout the week also, but I'm just going to be super busy this week, so I'm just trying to keep up the best I can for sure. Especially, of course, with me having a preview and prediction stream to do this week as well for Crown Jewel, which will be the first time I ever do a preview and prediction stream for Crown Jewel. But I'll check the live chat really quick before we get rolling here. We got Mark, we got Tyler, and the Rubik's Channel Studios. That's a new one. Thank you for joining me this late at night, guys. I'm tired, but I'm good, Mark. Tyler gave the show a C+. We got a high from Rubik's Channel Studios. Tyler thought that the person's return was a bust. Yeah, we'll talk about that then when we get to it. Mark thought Jay was gonna die when he said, "I don't give a damn what the tribal chief said." Oh, I did too. But of course, thanks to Sammy, still feeling oozy, that kind of changed the pace a little bit. And Tyler, of course, is ranting about Ronda, how he thinks Horseface is an awful champion, how Sammy Uso is awkward. I actually love Sammy Uso, but we will talk about that. He has 3 reviews left for 1995. Nice, as they're doing retro reviews. Solo must have been cracking up because they never showed him after that Usi thing. Maybe he didn't. Rubik's Channel Studios is saying 10/29/2022 for him or whatnot. Tyler using his usual rant stuff, and all that jazz, usuals. But thank you guys for joining me live. But again, I am going to roll into the review though and kind of fly through it. Talk about, of course, the stuff that was important on the show. The other stuff that wasn't too important, I'm kind of just like to say this happened. Boom, we're moving on. But anyways, so we opened up, and we were being told that Roman Reigns will be present for this episode of SmackDown. Of course, he was not there yet, and that's what happens most of the time whenever these shows are advertised for Roman. Roman's not there, but the rest of the bloodline is. But we're going to be kicking off the show with a match of the Brawling Brutes versus Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa. And then Sami tells Jey Uso that tonight is all hands on deck. The first thing that needs to see though when Roman gets there is a victory. And recently Jey did help Sami beat Kofi and asked him to bring that energy tonight. But again, Jey does get fired up because he does not like Sami Zayn. The match with the Brawling Brutes and Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa was a good match. Of course, a noteworthy thing though towards the end of the match, it looked like Sami hit an exploding suplex into the turnbuckle, stepped aside for a haluva kick, but then Butch, I'm still going to call him Pete Dunne, got an opening in front of him. And then Sami was like laying on his back, kind of like, looked like he was going to stay on his back, but he was prepared to like catch Pete as he came down, which was a little strange. But then, of course, Jey Uso, thinking he was doing the right thing, pulls Sami out of the ring and saves him from getting taken out. And then Sami and Jey start bickering, and then Solo, off the distraction, takes out Pete Dunne. But as, of course, they're still arguing, out of nowhere, here comes Ridge Holland, just boom, like running through both Sami and Jey like a freight train. And then Pete Dunne, of course, got himself into the match. And he does a small package roll-up on Sami Zayn to get the victory. And, of course, after that, the rest of the Bloodline start arguing. This and that happens. But then, I loved how this was done. So, again, Roman Reigns had not shown up yet. But, of course, the Bloodline, having their issues between Sami and Jey, needed to get victory to show when they show, like, hey, everything's good here, our Tribal Chief. Well, it was not good, and then, of course, as soon as Roman's music hit, it's like, everybody was like, stop arguing, like, oh no. Like, the best example would be to describe it as, like, you're in a classroom before class, the teacher's not there yet, you're goofing off doing goofy things, but as soon as the teacher shows up, it's like, you're, like, dead silent. And the Bloodline just went dead silent as soon as they realized that Roman's here. And obviously Roman's not happy. So Roman, of course, gets into the ring, does his thing, doesn't look pleased, first demands St. Louis to acknowledge him. And then he also wants to acknowledge the elephant in the room. If you're going to act like kids, he'll treat you like kids. He doesn't believe in airing the backstage in the ring, but he says they can't do that. So he wants them to put it all on the table and let it all out because he wants this problem fixed right now. Sami Zayn, of course, who has, like, the golden spoon in his mouth right now, thinking that he's got everybody on his side except for Jey. He basically was like, Jey, like, what's wrong? Like, what do you got against me? And Jey just says that he has 2 seconds to get out of his face. And said he doesn't like him, he doesn't like his hair, or his face, or the shirt he wears, being around his family every week. He's part of the Bloodline, when he ain't blood. Sami never will be blood, and he'll never belong, and Jay's the only one willing to say he's a fake-ass oos. And the difference between them and is Jey sheds blood for his family, but this isn't Sami's family. And is he willing to shed blood? Sami then tells him he's just trying to make peace because the Tribal Chief asked him to. And then Jey Uso, off of being fired up hothead, says, I don't give a damn about what the Tribal Chief said. And this was shot so well. As soon as you see, the whole time this is happening, Roman's just looking down, just like, in deep thought. But as soon as Jey said that, okay, you already have like the star drop and feeling when Roman shows up while they're bickering after a loss. But as soon as Jey says, I don't give a damn about the Tribal Chief, Roman just goes, like, looks up and it's like, you had the feeling like, oh god, Jey is dead. Jey is dead meat. And then, which wakes up Roman, and he turns around to confront Jey. But then Sami tries to tell Roman that Jey didn't mean that. And then, of course, the moment of the night. The moment of the night whenever Sammy goes, he's been through a lot and he just hasn't been himself lately. He just hasn't been very oozy. As soon as Sami Zayn says that, you see Roman Reigns like start to slowly smile, obviously showing that he was cracking. But then Jey Uso was still looking like serious as hell, but he just kept covering his face too. And like anytime he would uncover his face, he looked like he had been crying or laughing. Like you can tell, like Roman and Jey just could not keep character. Like Jimmy was in the background cracking up. We never saw a shot of Solo during this, but I'm pretty sure Mark is right saying that Solo was probably cracking up as well and just laughing his ass off. But everybody just cracked character big time. All over Sami saying "Usi." So finally, and then of course, Jey tries to turn around and Roman turns around and goes on screen like, no, we're finishing this and whatnot. And then of course finally Roman says, is the problem really that you're not feeling oozy? And then of course he gives Jey this awkward shoulder hug and pulls him and says if he can't find his inner oozy, he's going to do something he's not going to like. He's going to make the honorary oos a full-blown oos. And then the way they just zoomed in on Sammy's face as it just lit up, like he looked like the little kid getting his favorite candy from the candy store pulled out off the shelf or something. It was this was hilarious. I mean, it was a big time, botch with Roman and Jey just can't, contain themselves and just can't keep, cracking, can't stop laughing. Like they literally they broke character, and it turned into a segment that was like super serious of like, oh my god, the big boss is here, and obviously they didn't get the victory. They're bickering, and then Jey Uso doesn't give a damn about the tribal chief, and then to a few seconds later, laughing over the way Sami Zayn says the word "Usi," and then of course the look on Sammy's face though whenever Roman says they're gonna make Sammy a full blown oos. Sammy looked like a 6-year-old kid, just like super happy, and then of course, if Jey doesn't figure it out, he's going to change Sammy's name to Sammy Uso, which everybody's chanting Sammy Uso. And then I'm guessing this was just to call an audible because they had to fill time in, but Paul Heyman took over and hyped up basically Roman's match and then said, we'll be right back after these messages. Basically, probably in my opinion, just to fill in the gap for, them. For them just breaking character, but it was just so funny. Again, just Sammy saying "Usi," and then you see that again. Roman's making it way too obvious that he's cracking up. Jey Uso just like, if there was any sign of a smile on his face, he just covered his face and he almost like walked out of the segment because he just couldn't control himself. And then Roman goes, "Oh no, we're gonna finish this," and turns him around as that awkward arm hug. It was so funny. It was one of the like hilarious character breaks I've seen. Probably one of the best ones since Roman forgot his line during the promo war with him and Cena, and then Cena goes, "It's called a promos, kid. If you want to be the big dog, you have to learn how to do one." And just again shrunk him down to size. But I love that. It was priceless. We didn't have a quick match with New Day and Maximum Male Models. It was announced, of course, since the Brawling Brutes, who also got a new theme song, got the victory over Sammy and Solo earlier tonight. They're going to get a match for the Undisputed Tag Titles at Crown Jewel. Now, they're still teasing, though, another New Day and Usos match. It's probably going to be saved for maybe a little bit more closer to the end of the year or whatnot, because the whole idea is the Usos are close to breaking the New Day's longest reigning tag team championship record. So obviously they're trying to protect, their legacy and whatnot. So as it gets closer, I think we're at like 460 days or something like that. It's 483. So I'm pretty sure once it's closer right there, they're going to have them do the match to, have the Usos either earn the spot or just lose, the chance to do so right there and then. So we have that. Then we have another backstage brawl with Liv Morgan and Sonya Deville. Literally the same exact thing, almost completely, except Liv didn't do like a high jump. They got jump off a scaffold. Her and Sonya got broken up. But this is just a hype up for a no disqualification match next week. Okay, it would have been best to just show a replay of what happened last week and then announce the match instead of just literally just repeating the exact same segment that you did 2 weeks ago. But not the biggest hill to die on. Braun Strowman also cuts a promo how almost maybe bigger, but he's not stronger than him. Snooze fest. Don't care about that match. And then we have Ronda Rousey coming out, and she's going to offer an open challenge. But she's of a mind to prove it with an open challenge, and it's super impressive that she defends the title on a moment's notice. Greatness recognizes greatness, and we're all too mediocre to see what we're looking at. And who answers the challenge but none other than a returning Emma? Of course, Tenille Dashwood, but she's back to being Emma again, and she's back in WWE. Now, I was going to do a turn alert for her first, because it seems to me Emma's come back as a babyface. But, based off of my personal preference for Emma, and an exclusive video that she had took, especially also, of course, she comes in and she loses to Ronda, and honestly, Tyler is right. I mean, I wouldn't say Emma's been buried, but the match was not that good. Ronda and Emma just didn't seem to have really good chemistry. But she says a thing where she's, I know what I gotta do to become champion. So I'm wondering, even though they still could do them as baby faces, but I still personally think Emma's is much more in her element as a heel. Because as a face, all I see is the same. I loved when she came out and like Ronda was in the ring like mocking it and whatnot. But I am kind of hoping they reunite her with Dana Brooke. That would be another legitimate tag team. A good team for Damage Control to feud with. I just don't know. I just would like to see them, make them both heels again, because Emma got injured whenever Dana got called up. Well, and Emma got called back up too. And that kind of, funked out Dana and just put her on a different path, and, she got all screwed up and whatnot. But I don't know. It's like, as a babyface, I'm just not sure what she can do. But again, I am sorry, but the match she had with Ronda was not that good. I mean, she got a lot of offense in on Ronda, which I was surprised. That's another thing, too. I guess they're not making... Ronda just didn't like she was too dominating in this match. Again, she's been really inconsistent this year, unfortunately. But it's good to see Emma back. I figured there was a chance she could be coming back. One, her contract with Impact ended a few months ago. Two, I'm pretty sure she liked working with Triple H also. Also, her boyfriend's in WWE, who, of course, is Madcap Moss, which was only discovered just recently. And based off their Instagram posts, they seem to go on a lot of fancy trips and whatnot. But I'm happy to see her back. I just, hopefully she'll, find her niche. I still think she should just be evil Emma and reunite her with Dana Brooke. That's what I think they should do, at least. But yeah, so that was that, and Emma's return. Jey Uso is backstage arguing with Paul Heyman, but Heyman says he'll put in a good word for him. Then we have a segment with Ronda and Natalya backstage celebrating Ronda's win. Natalya rolls up and calls Ronda lucky and wants to have another shot for the title, but then Baszler chokes her out. Not sure if this is teasing a face turn for Natalya, but okay. Then we have Legado del Fantasma, and they're going to be taking on Hit Row and a mystery partner, which turns out to be Shinsuke Nakamura, who got a nice pop, and the match was decent. Nakamura wins by hitting Cruz del Toro, handing Legado del Fantasma their first loss. I don't know if he'll put over one of the tag teams or to get Nakamura some momentum again. I don't know. We'll see. But the match was decent. Noteworthy match so far was when Top Dollar went to the top rope, and a lot of people were shocked about it as well. Back in the locker room, though, Paul Heyman shows Roman Reigns footage of boxers sparring, and Roman's like, why are we watching this? And Wise Man says, it takes us one lucky punch. And Roman's like, Logan ain't going to hit one punch. Heyman tells a story about a synagogue with a doctor, and knows a doctor who knows Logan's doctor that once broke his hand, and he had the seal pins installed. And then Roman says how Logan has had 2 matches. And when Heyman says Brock won the UFC title in his 3rd fight, then he also realizes that he's, talking, overhyping Logan Paul, and then Roman doesn't want to hear it, so he backs away before Roman gets fired up again. LA Knight then had a segment with Ricochet. They're teasing the feud between the two of them, which should be interesting. Karrion Kross squashed Emma's boyfriend, Madcap Moss. Afterwards, though, while still holding Moss in a cross jacket, basically as the microphone tells Drew that Moss put up a better fight than he did, and Moss ain't no coward or a hypocrite. Drew stands for nothing but his own ambitions, and he's going to regret being locked inside a steel cage with him at Crown Jewel. Which, that's that. I mean, I still kind of feel like this feud with McIntyre and Cross kind of got put on the back burner. I mean, it's still there, but it's just like nothing too crazy with the story progression. Ray's being interviewed backstage, hyping up his Intercontinental title match next week. He, of course, gets chopped by Gunther big time, and it hurts. And in the end of the show, Bray Wyatt came out, basically cuts a very similar promo to what he cut a few weeks ago when he first came back, but just a little bit of different context. He says this is still new to him, but he can use the energy. He won't lie when the crowd chants start. He starts to feel invulnerable, like got to do something wild, but he really wants us to see something he's proud of. It's just him and us. No mask or smoke and mirrors. This is the real Bray Wyatt, the best version that will ever be. He's proud to be here, and he'll do spectacular things. The majority of his life, he's been completely out of control and can't help that. His emotions don't work like other people's, and sometimes they send to very dark places. Other times, no matter how hard he tries, he feels nothing at all. That's part what makes him him and gets where he is and had to do horrible things. Part of him is glad that he's been able to do these horrible things, but that's not the end of it. He knows he'll be facing with adversity and asked to do something horrible. But then the lights go out, and then a figure appears on the Tron and asks who he is, and purposing to be the ghost of the man who sold the word. Bray killed the world and sent him away, and that's why he's unsure of what he once was. He should reveal in what he was, but he's a liar, and it becomes plain that he does wear a mask, and he can never hide from him. Uncle Howdy. And that's how the show ends. So yeah, it's more and more official that this Wyatt 6 thing is kind of more of like a multiple personality gimmick, which I love. And I do think it's more established the fact that Bray Wyatt's a babyface, but these other personalities like Uncle Howie and whoever else we get introduced to are going to kind of like, try to overpower Bray Wyatt. And of course we're going to cheer because we like, the legitimate Bray Wyatt. The one that, cut the promo, before he was interrupted by Uncle Howdy. And even his return promo was very well awesome. So I think they're setting him up as like a guy that we want him to overcome. And I think he's going to have to fight his demons as multiple personalities to be able to, get the title. and other people will take advantage of those personalities as well. But that's my review of SmackDown, guys. Again, I'm tired. I know I kind of just brushed through this, but most of the time I gave the show a B-. B- for feeling not super duper oozy. WWE this past week was decent. I mean, Raw was a little skippable. SmackDown had some stuff, but, you know. But I think I have to do something in the live chat, but again, I gotta get off. I'm tired. I gotta get up early tomorrow. So I'm going to cut it here, guys. That's my thoughts on SmackDown this week. Gave the show a B-. What are your thoughts on SmackDown this week? And, of course, the Bloodline breaking character, Emma returning, Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy. Who do you guys also think is going to be appearing soon? Make sure you guys leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well, DemandAirboy93. Until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch y'all later. Have a great rest of your night. And peace out, everybody.